everybody. I don't really dig getting the question mark as the word of the week, although I have encouraged all of us to be intentional and set forth what we'd like to create over the next 2 weeks. Well, I had a bunch of curveballs. It was like the question mark should have been just one of those squiggly family circle cartoon lines, because everything I had planned, everything I had intentioned got blown up. Was supposed to, for the first time in many months, get on an airplane to go back to Philadelphia for some work meetings. And you might have thought I was going on a trip to Europe. I was so excited. And I had bought my special mask and my special sanitizer, and I was ready to do this vigilantly and yet go and be with my colleagues. I was so excited. Started packing many days before I even needed to. And I realized, oh, wait a minute, my mom has a doctor's appointment that coincides with when I'm supposed to be at the airport. So I need to make that a day earlier. Glad I did it, because when I went, I picked my mom up for the appointment. It wasn't good. And we both decided, let's go right to the emergency room. I know all of you sweet, wonderful people out there are saying, oh, is she okay? My mom is fine. Resilient as can be. But when I picked her up that day, we did not know what was going to go down here. And it was really tempting to get swept up in the emotion of it, as if, and I think we feel like we must be emotional to show our love, but that's not really true. Actually, being dispassionate in the situation, thinking clearly and making good decisions was what was more important. So, not knowing how this was going to turn out, I sadly, but knowing it was the right thing to do, had to break those commitments to fly to Philadelphia and be at the meetings, and everything changed. And I felt sad, but then I realized, you know what? You can have all the best intentions, but sometimes life flips the script. And how adept are we at surfing that new wave that comes along? Flexibility and adaptability and staying connected to source that will help you navigate those rough waters. And then I've also been thinking about the angels that are sent our way during special times of turmoil or stress. I want to take a moment to salute the healthcare workers. Those angels of mercy in the hospital, from the gentleman who saw me crying in the waiting room and said, honey, it's going to be okay. We've got your mom. He just was oozing compassion just when I needed it. He didn't know me at all. To the people behind the counter who had to follow the rules during COVID. You're not allowed to visit for more than an hour. And yet saying, we'll let you stay 5 more minutes. We'll look the other way, because I needed to be there. And I respected the rules and left after a certain amount of time. But talking to the nurse who was inspecting my mom so gently, her skin, and noticing every little nuance or bump. And we got to know her a little bit, and her unit had been turned into a COVID unit. She was in full body gear, saving people's lives just a couple months ago. Thankfully, the tide has turned a little bit, and it's no longer had to be dedicated for a COVID area. But these are people that put themselves in harm's way every day. Every day for them is a question mark. They don't know what person they are going to be assigned to, or what emergency situation is going to be rolled into their waiting room. And they have to remain unflappable, ready, vigilant, caring, and kind. Sarasota Memorial Hospital, I so appreciate you. My mom so appreciates you. And though we would have preferred not to have spent time with you this week, we are better for having been in your care. Not just my mom, but me too, the crying daughter in the waiting room. The things that we don't plan, the things that we would prefer to have not planned, end up making our lives richer. Because in the moment, we are able to receive grace from angels of mercy that are put in our path to help guide us through and help us surf this wave of uncertainty. So look for the light bearers, look for those angels of mercy, because if you will not vote with the emotion and stress and distress of the situation, you'll be able to see them and accept their offers of help. Thank you, angels of mercy, for helping me survive the question mark. And so, I always hope for something better than that. And I'm looking for a word for all of us over the next couple of weeks to help guide our path. Aw, I love this word. Inspiration. Doing something inspiring. Inspire means to breathe life into something. And maybe the change of the seasons, the new chill in the air, buying everything pumpkin spice or cinnamon, picking out a Halloween costume, even if it's just for a Zoom meeting. What inspires you? I'm inspired. I was inspired by the team at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. They breathed life back into me in a situation where I was almost hyperventilating. Choosing to be inspired is a choice that's before each of us every day. I love listening to podcasts or videos on YouTube. I always love to listen to Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, and she tells the best stories about how to view life from a divine perspective and how to stay connected to source. It's a great way to start my day. Meditation, exercise, a walk around the block. We can do that now in Florida because it's not so darn hot. And sometimes just reflecting over the obstacles you've already surmounted, looking over your shoulder and saying, you know what? I got through that. I can get through this too. Be inspired by yourself. Think about all the challenges you've faced and risen up against, and now they're just a memory of a success story. You did it. I'd never vote against you. Don't vote against yourself. Be inspired these next 2 weeks. Breathe life where it's felt a little bit dead. Choose to surround yourself with people and things and ideas that inspire you. You deserve it. You deserve it. Have a great couple of weeks.